Good morning, good morning. I am not sure if my phone is the right way round, so forgive me if it isn't. Um, my name's Rebekah, and I'm a personal development coach and mentor and a homeopath, and I use all three methods to help you and your family to be as well and as happy as you can be, and to stay that way. So, welcome to my Monday messages. If you're watching live, you're very welcome. And if you're watching the replay, you're equally welcome. So what are my Monday messages about for those of you who don't follow me on these videos? Well, it's part of my commitment to giving as many people as possible just simple tools, thoughts, practices, ideas, just to encourage you to open up and just explore perhaps a little bit outside your comfort zones so that you can know yourself better, regulate yourself better, be able to instigate any changes that you want to instigate that's going to allow you to evolve and grow and be as healthy as you can. So this week, just looking to see if there's anybody joining me. No, Facebook have changed the layout again, so I'm just getting to grips with it. Okay, so this week, and actually for the last couple of weeks, I have been spending quite a lot of time with mums and their kids, largely around the children going back to school after, obviously this time, a very, very long break, and helping to support them with homeopathy to get over any anxieties, any worries, any physical problems that they might have. Sometimes it's about just actually strengthening them up for the winter months, and now is a really good time to do that. So a lot of my regular clients would be bringing in children for a kind of health check, if you like, at this time of year. But also, I've been having a lot of conversations with new clients, mums who, now the children are back at school, are able to focus a little bit more on what they want. And that's always a good thing, I think, because if you're sorted, then generally speaking, your children will be sorted. So I've been running a lot of my free Q&A calls that I offer. And if you're interested in one of those, you can just pop to my website, and the address is in the post with this video. And you can sign up to get one of those free calls in the sign-up forms at the bottom of every page of the website. It's half an hour for you to really explore what you'd like, whether you think I'm the right person to work with. Ask me about homeopathy, ask me about any of the other modalities that I do and that I use to help support you. Anyway, I digress. I have done a number of these calls this week, and one particular lady was just lovely to speak to, and she was asking me about homeopathy specifically. And I was explaining that it can be used on a number of different levels of health. And obviously that when we're dealing with physical health issues, it's relatively straightforward to measure results because you've got tangible symptoms. You've got rashes, you've got mucus, you've got, runny noses, sore throats, chest infections, headaches, menstrual problems, whatever it might be. So most of the time, and it's not always true, but most of the time we're measuring progress by a lessening of those symptoms, a disappearance of those symptoms, a change in some sort. So it's relatively straightforward to chart that progress. But when we're talking about emotional health or spiritual health, it's sometimes not as clear, if you like. And I was explaining to this lady that I often get people coming back to me when they've come for one visit in particular, and they're not perhaps familiar with homeopathy, that they come back and they say, well, it's quite hard, Rebekah, to kind of work out what the remedy's done. I'm not really sure if it's done anything. I feel way better. I've got much more energy, and I'm much more focused. But I think that's because I have, and then they tell me about some big change that they've done. They've maybe decided to change their job, or they've asked for a pay rise, or they've asked for different working hours, or perhaps they've joined a gym or committed to a healthy eating program or some kind of self-care regime that they've been meaning to do, for a long time. And when I ask them, well, this change that you've done, is it something that you've been thinking about for a long time, perhaps? Or is it something that's just come up, out of the blue recently? And most of the time, the answer is, oh, God, no, I've been thinking about this for ages and I've just never got round to it. Or, yeah, it's something I've been meaning to do, but, life has come in and I just have never managed to do it. So I then asked them, well, okay, what's different then about the last few weeks that enabled you to actually take that action, make that decision, put that change in place when you've actually been meaning to do that for quite a long time? And that's often when the penny drops. And basically, then they see that actually the only change that has been there is that they've had some homeopathic treatment. They've had a remedy or a succession of remedies. And then it becomes clear that actually what has happened is that whatever was stopping them from making these changes, from making these decisions, taking this action, has been a kind of block of some sort. It's been an obstacle, something that's kept them meaning to do things, but never quite doing it, or putting it in place, but not really keeping it up, so not being able to sustain it. And that is what a really good remedy does. It just very gently removes whatever block, whatever feeling, whatever sensation, whatever belief or value might be stopping someone from actually evolving and growing the way that they're meant to. And it can be really subtle sometimes, not always. Sometimes it's really obvious and it's, there's fantastic changes that happen very, very quickly. But sometimes it's almost imperceptible, except the person has moved on with their life. They have actually taken the next step. They've opened a door. And this lady I was speaking to when I was explaining this just said, oh, God, Rebekah, yes, I completely get it. It's a gateway drug. And it made me laugh because obviously when we talk about gateway drugs, we're usually talking about them in a negative way when we're talking about kind of so-called soft drugs leading on to harder, more dangerous drug taking. But in this instance, we're very much talking about the positive aspects of an energy medicine that can be used for very tangible physical illnesses, but is also used for shifting almost imperceptible blocks that are stopping you from doing the things that you kind of consciously know that you want to do and that are good for you. So, yes, it is a gateway drug for sure, because it then opens you up completely to possibility. To, often people come back 2 or 3 follow-ups later and say, I cannot believe I didn't do this earlier on, years ago, maybe even, or weeks ago, or months ago, whatever it is. And once they've shifted, once they've made those wonderful changes, then their whole life opens up, and that door is really open wide. That gate is open wide. And once you've actually seen what is possible, it's actually impossible to unsee it and to unknow it. And it also seems to open people up to other potential healthcare methods that they perhaps haven't considered in the past. There's a really big shift, but it's gentle and it's at your own pace. So what I wanted to do this week is really encourage you. Now you perhaps have a little bit more time to really think about what you need, as opposed to focusing exclusively on your kids. And I know, you've all been at home for a long, long time. Even if you haven't got children or your children are grown and long gone, this is a good time of year to really think about, well, do I have anything, doesn't matter how small, do I have anything that I've been meaning to do for a long time and somehow just never get round to it? Somehow it gets shunted back down to the bottom of the list regularly. And you always look at it and go, why haven't I done that? Very good place to start. And then think about, well, why is that? Why might that be the case? And that will lead you to perhaps some kind of underlying feeling that is being brought up when you think about making that change. And those are that's the gateway, if you like, to what we would perhaps work on using homeopathy or QTT, personal development coaching or mentoring or anything like that. But a remedy is like magic, basically. If I get it right, and I do a lot of the time, then all sorts of shifts are possible. So don't be afraid to open that door or that gate and just see how much pleasure and growth and stretching is out there if you want it. Anything that you're striving for, that you wish for, that you think is, I can't do that, that's out of my reach, but it's something that comes up regularly, not necessarily true. Nothing is really out of our reach. It's only our beliefs and our values that are stopping us. So we don't have to stay where we are. There are lots and lots of things that we can do to shift things and to help us to just move out of our little safe bubble if we want to. So that's what I want to encourage you to do, is just start thinking about anything that you've been meaning to do and haven't. Anything that you think, yeah, God, I'd love to do that. Why not? And if you think that you would like some help in getting to the bottom of why you haven't done something, or why you might be in a pattern that is becoming more apparent, but it's kind of keeping you a bit stuck and not being able to sustain things, then get in touch. Have one of those free Q&A calls I was talking about. Just pop onto my website. The address is in the post of this video. You can have a half-hour chat with me, totally free. We can work out, am I the right person that you'd like to work with? Is homeopathy the right way to go for you? Or perhaps QTT is the right way to go for you, or a little bit of both. Anyway, you don't have to stay where you are. You can make changes if you wish to. So I'm just going to leave that with you for the week. Have a lovely week and just reflect and ponder. Thank you so much for watching. I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Any feedback that you want to give, any questions about homeopathy, do put them in the thread below. Or, as I say, get in touch. Okay, thanks. Bye.